We have signed the contract for the biggest event that I have ever run. And if it doesn't work, then we are going to lose a hell of a lot of money. But fingers crossed it is going to work.
You recognize me through your half-cut eyes when you're just a stranger in your apartment. Do you recognize me when the daylight bursts, just like a knee slide on your carpet? Could I still be cool when your text won't send? When I'm jaded, wasted, but on the mend, I'll be cool, nothing to lose, but I still care for you.
Yeah. Okay, he's gotten her a lot, but she can tell he doesn't get it. Trips and gifts, but she just wants him to be present. Accepting it cause she just trying to keep the peace. But she disrespects herself the more she lets him be beneath her standards. She's looking for answers, different love languages, he don't understand her. Emotional negligence, she lives in his residence. She don't want to be maintained, she wants to be connected with. Hard to take it day by day cause really she's been hurt for months. Knows his life's a blur but wants his focus just on her for once. He makes her feel like she's not interested, she's talking, he's not there. Now she's missing him and how he used to be back when he cared. You know exactly how she wanna feel.
Today I am doing what I usually do on a Monday, sit down and share the raw insights, one take of what's going on in my life and in other Mondays. I called it Monday Journal a long time ago, and this is the 34th time that we've done it. So let's get stuck in. I've got a few notes here that I'm going to refer to, but the goal is just to roll back the curtain on what's going on in business and in life. So first up, life vibes. Well, here we are, still on the Gold Coast. It's not as sunny as it was, but it's a change of scenery nonetheless. Living here with Ev and Rach in a smaller pad and actually really enjoying quiet time and having less people around. We love all of the team members and the Art of Mondays members and the friends who pop in, but it's been a whole year of traveling in between different houses, living with different groups of people. So when I do get time to just slow down, I definitely appreciate it. We've been cafe hopping as usual, and also got the chance to catch up in person with a couple of friends and Art of Mondays members who I met throughout the year. One is Simon. So I met Simon originally in New Zealand on the residency, then again in Bali, and now here. Also Ryan, who I met in New Zealand as well, and he moved down from Brisbane to the Gold Coast. So as luck would have it, everyone was in town at the same time. And it was great to catch up with both of those boys because when I first met both of them, their businesses were doing okay, they would say, but they weren't where they wanted them to be. Simon was hitting his head against the wall trying to find product market fit for his watch brand. And when we were last together in Bali, he finally figured it out, or he thought he did. He, instead of selling watches, which is a product, is now selling an experience. And an experience has so many more marketing angles, especially around this time, Christmas, Black Friday, gifting. And great to see that not only has it worked, but it's really taken off over the last couple of months since that seed was planted when we were in Bali. And as for Ryan, some big changes on his behalf, which have also been really great to hear, is that now he is letting go of his old brand. It was a hangover relief supplement, and now he's moving into something that, in his words, is much more aligned with who he is, which is, I'm not sure the official name for it. I'm just going to call it Beach Paddle, but created a new brand called Playra, and he's just launched it, and early signs have been great. So shout out to you, Ryan, and to you, Simon. Good work, guys. That's the persistence that pays off. So great to catch up with them and hear some more Art of Mondays success stories. Apart from that, a couple of other things of note from the past week. Well, it's been a big Wealth Walk sprint. Of course, that's why we're here in the Gold Coast to start with, to catch up with Alison and make some real progress on the business. We sat down, and rather than just getting stuck into the to-do list, the process was create a Notion doc and discuss what are the high leverage, high impact things that we can do in person over the next week, that by the time we leave the Gold Coast and fly to the next destination, wherever that is, that will actually level up the business and give us a lot of confidence moving into the next year. So things like hiring moves, the long-term plan of the business, and making sure we're all aligned with what we want to do. Also figuring out the organization chart, going from scrappy startup to still scrappy startup, but with a bit more structure, which I'll touch on in a second, and getting clear on financials as well. And I guess the last update for this week is we had a great celebration, belated, of course, but it was a year of Rach being with Art of Mondays.
Rachel's belated 1 year at AOM celebration.
How belated? How belated?
Only 2 months.
That's okay.
It's pretty good.
You going out for dinner?
Yes.
No.
You do.
Evan ironed his shirt?
No, did I iron my dress? No.
So we are celebrating tonight. Have you told them what's going on?
I just told them.
She's killing the game.
She's killing it. And Rachel's the first person on the team and is still here kicking today. So we just went out for a quiet dinner, me, Jai and Rach, which might not sound like much, but considering that we're always surrounded by so many people, it was really nice just to have a moment, 3 of us. So shout out Rach, who's over there. Let's change gears a bit. I want to share what I've been thinking about lately. And I alluded to this just before when I was talking about organization structure and going from scrappy startup to not so scrappy startup. I've been thinking a lot about people in terms of team for businesses and company structures. And here are some of the thoughts I've had. And I've tried to put them all on paper to kind of distill this craziness of learnings into some simple points. So the first thing is that as we grow from startup culture, where everyone does everything, to a small to medium-sized business, people need to be put into the role that is right for them and the role that is right for the company. So that's the transition that I've been on recently over the last 6 months with Art Mondays, and then now also with Wealth Walks. And alongside that, it's not just where are you sitting in the company, what is your role, but everyone should know 2 things. 1, what they're being judged on, and 2, what they should be obsessed with. And ideally, what they should be obsessed with is what they're really passionate about. So for Ev, who's gearing up for a run right now, he's really passionate about creating content. So what he should be obsessed with is
creating content.
I swear I did not tell him to say that. A great example would be publishing YouTube videos or filming for Instagram Reels. Other thing that is really helpful for people and company structure is a roadmap. So when someone is new to the team, giving them an idea of what progression could look like if they do really well. For example, if Ev joins us as a content creator, the idea is, well, here's the open spaces above you that we could create over the next couple of years. Maybe it's content strategist, and then it's head of content, and then it's content director or art director. So just showing that this is where you are, but this is where you could be if you prove yourself really motivates people to want to do a great job. Because progression is by human nature. We want the thing, we want the recognition, we want the status. So if someone were to come in and there was no idea of where they could go or what they could do, then why would they be motivated to go above and beyond? A couple other tips. So I think a great hack that I found for building relationships and building the company as well is a regular check-in where we ask ourselves, what is the vulnerable thought? What is the thing on your mind that you don't quite feel comfortable sharing or bringing up? Me and Jai do this every single week when we have our level 10 meeting, and I do it with a lot of the other people in the team as well. And the goal with this is to nip it in the bud. If there's anything that is causing stress or tension or resentment, to bring it up before it becomes a big deal. And it also creates a culture of open communication and honesty, because we want to make sure everyone is loving what they're doing and feeling safe in their role and feeling safe that they can communicate how they're feeling. Okay, and with all that in mind, I've written down 5 questions that you can ask your team to know how to create a structure and a role that works for them. So here are the 5 questions that you can ask anyone on your team to make sure that they are sitting in the right seat in your company. Question number 1, what motivates you more, safety and security or output-based rewards? In other words, what is their risk tolerance? And this is really tied to compensation. Some people prefer a base salary to know exactly what they're getting every single month. Other people prefer purely commission-based, where they know that they get more the more that they put in. Question number 2 is, do you prefer routine or variety? For those who prefer routine, then a role that is probably more admin-based, going through the same processes regularly would be best suited. But if they prefer variety, then throw them into a Swiss Army knife kind of role where they do a little bit of everything. Question number 3, and this is a 3-parter, and you actually may be familiar with it because I use it in my Monday journal all the time, is what is your weekly highlight, learning, and challenge? Because this creates a culture of reflection and self-reflection as well, and allows you as a manager to make sure that this person is going in the direction that they want to go. Because if there is no reflection, there's no discussion. And if there's no discussion, then kind of just going in blind. And one day your team member might realize, oh, this is not where I want to be. Question number 4. I love this one. In your previous role or at your previous company, what's something that you were really good at or that you really enjoyed that we're not doing here in our company? And question 5, if you could design your own week, how would it look? Would it be structured? Would it be full of meetings? Would it be solo, deep work? When you understand how people want their week to look, you can create the role or change parts of the role to make sure that they're really enjoying it and that it aligns with their vision as well. I also think just in general, it's really important to give praise when praise is due, but not to the point of flattery, because flattery creates unrealistic expectations. And I'll give you an example here. If we were to say to someone who is just doing what's expected of their role, not really anything above and beyond, but if we're to say you're absolutely crushing it, like keep up the great work, then they might interpret that as, oh, I'm already doing as good as I can be. I don't need to push more. I don't need to do more. And that's not the culture, at least, that I want to create. But if someone is genuinely going above and beyond and innovating and doing great things, let them know and show them that you appreciate it. Something on this note that's also relevant is not to create false narratives for people by telling them something that isn't necessarily true or assuming something is true. The example for this is saying, hey, person, I noticed that you're working so hard recently. You must be exhausted. Like, you definitely need a break, right? And maybe that person is just a workhorse who is really active in communication, so you know everything that they're doing, but it may not necessarily be more than anyone else. But because you brought that forward, maybe then they're going to think, oh, I am working hard. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm going to need a break. I think I'm going to have a holiday. But if you didn't bring it up, then maybe it wasn't true. Maybe that was just kind of their normal. Don't accidentally shape the narrative in the wrong way is my point there. And that is a lot of stuff relating to people, company structure. There's plenty more tips, but I think I'll leave it there so we can keep this nice and relatively compact. But the last thing that I will say on structure on a sort of different note is that we've started to think about the difference between building a company to exist forever versus building a company to sell, and just looking at options of, if in a hypothetical world we wanted to sell a company, what would need to be different? You'd probably need to have a CEO in place who's not a founder, so that when someone comes to buy it, it's kind of like a plug and play, ready to go. You don't have to replace any people. Whereas if it is a company that you want to have for 5, 10, 15 years, it's totally fine to have you as the founder stay steering the ship and have things a little bit messy, because you don't have to do anything by the book because you don't plan on showing anyone what's going on behind the scenes. Anyway, food for thought, something to think about a bit more later. Time for our traffic lights. Okay, this is something I share every week, a highlight, a learning, and a challenge. It helps me reflect, and I hope that if you adopt this, it'll help you reflect as well. So my highlight is, just being here in a smaller place with less people, which might sound counteractive to me as a founder of a community who loves being around people and making relationships, but I have been doing that almost every day this year. So it's just nice to have some space and some quiet time to recharge and focus before what's going to be a pretty busy Christmas, New Year with socializing and traveling as well. My learning, and this is a life learning, not a work learning, is leave your phone outside your bedroom because sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. And I always feel so much better when I do, because I wake up naturally and I'm not going straight into social media and feeling like people are throwing information at me that I didn't ask for. And for my challenge, which probably wouldn't surprise many of you who've heard this, the idea of taking a break for me, I feel like I've said that many times and I've just continually kicked the can down the road and I haven't done it. I've already put it in my list of things to talk about with Jai tomorrow. We're going to lock in some dates. We're going to be offline. We're going to let the team know, and we're going to do it before the year is up, because there's always going to be more things to do. There's always going to be new ideas and new innovations that I can put my time towards, but I've said I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it. So you can hold me accountable too, which means next video might wait a few more days. All right, so now for what you guys have been waiting for, our business update for the Founder Fam. We are now at 4,367 applications. That's up 141. We are at 245 all-time members, so that's up 5 over the previous week. The average age is 28. Still hasn't changed in a long time. And as I said last week as well, interview calendars are full. So if you want to get involved and apply to join the Founder Family, but you don't see any available time slots, just come back the next day and refresh and go again, because a lot of people want connection and community coming into 2026, and we just simply don't have enough spots to chat to everyone right now. So just keep coming back, be persistent, and hopefully the spot opens up and you can find your people soon enough. As for the other quick updates on the Art of Monday side, as I suggested at the beginning of this video, we have locked in the contract for our biggest event ever. I can give you the name today, but I can't give you much else. It's called Camp Mondays, and it's going to be between 50 and 100 founders. It's going to be middle of 2026, more people in one spot than we've ever done. 6 days, big names, huge activations, and cannot wait for this. I think that this is really going to be the turning point for what we do as a company. And I didn't set out to become an events company, but I think it's slowly becoming that, because people crave in real life connection, face-to-face connection. And we're going to give it to them and so much more with this event that's coming up. Other update is the Art of Mondays YouTube channel is going to be getting some love soon, bringing on someone to be fully dedicated to it. Someone who's already on the team, actually, James, who many of you already know. But James is going to be moving his focus towards YouTube, which means that we're going to have someone owning that platform. And the idea is to interview our members in a really fun, engaging way so that you can learn their stories, many of which are from rags to riches or many failed businesses before the one that succeeded. So I think there's going to be a lot of inspiration and education over there. So if you want to go check out the Art of Mondays channel, feel free to subscribe, and then you can get that when James and the team drop the videos there. As for partner brand updates on Wealth Walk side of things, so we've locked in 2 new wealth houses. One is in Sicily, and the other is in Temecula in California for next year. So nice to see the momentum continuing on those. And we've also redone the organization chart. So that means we are hiring for 1, an intern, 2, a content coordinator, and 3, a remote editor. So if any of those tickle your fancy, find a way to reach out, and we will hopefully see you there. And that's it. Whew, big one today, or at least it felt like one. As usual, leaving you with 2 questions to ponder. Here's the first. What do you keep promising yourself that you haven't followed through on yet? How can a trusted friend or family member help you take the leap? And second question is, before 2025 is complete, who do you want to thank for the impact that they've had on you this year? Now go give them a message or a phone call. And that's it. Thanks for tuning into Monday Journal 34. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more of these or more of the actual POV videos with all the footage of the travel, because there's SD cards full of it. And we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks, fam.